Hello and welcome to Verbal Edge. My name is Rupesh, and in this video, I'll be explaining another editorial which I have taken from newspaper The Hindu, and it is titled Money Changer. It is on India's effort to launch its own digital currency. Now, before I begin with the explanation of the editorial, I would just like to drive home the point that there are a lot of people who can read and understand the editorials very well, which is good for them. But at the same time, there are a lot of students who initially struggle to come to terms with the kind of language that editorials use, the kind of content that they use. So there is some sort of reluctance, hesitation, as well as there is some kind of aversion to reading editorials, right? And I have seen over so many years in this field that people who ultimately overcome this reluctance to read editorials and become comfortable reading it, understanding it, they really get good rewards in terms of their performances in these competitive exams, right? So this is my effort to help you out if you are if you want to embark on this journey of regularly reading editorials and learning from it. So just by watching these videos, initially you can read the editorial, you can watch the explanation, and then go back it again. You will after maybe a week or 10 days, you will start feeling that okay, you can go on your own, right? And off and on, we will be getting some editorials which consist of some difficult concepts, some information which is not very common among the students. So in that case, those explanations will help you in coming to terms with that additional explanation, right, of concepts as well as of events, right? So with this backdrop, let us start with discussing this. And as in the previous videos, I would advise you to either you can pause the video, go through the editorial, or probably you can pause the video. I have provided the link for this editorial in the description. So you can go there, you can read it there, if you are more comfortable reading there. Otherwise, you can pause the video. In the next screen, you'll see the entire editorial. You can read it. Once you are done, you may even read it twice or thrice. Once you think that, okay, you've understood to a certain extent, then you can pause the video and then again you can cross-check that whether you understood in the right direction or there were certain things which were missing. Okay? So, this is the editorial for you. You can pause the video, go through the editorial here, or as I told you, you can go through it on the website of the Hindu. The link is provided in the description. Right. So I'll assume that you would have read it once, maybe twice, and you're not ready for the explanation. So let us begin paragraph wise and sentence wise. Right. There should not be any hesitation in going sentence wise. So the first sentence is, in contrast to India's continued ambiguity over the legality of cryptocurrencies, its stance on introducing an official digital currency has been reassuringly clear and consistent over time. So two things have been said in the same sentence. Number one, it says that what India wants about legality of cryptocurrencies. For example, whether we want to legalize Bitcoin or not, the stand has been at best ambiguous. We don't know what the governments have wanted over the years. But at the same time, the stance on introducing digital currency is very clear, right? That the answer is clearly yes, right? Whether we should legalize Bitcoins or not, maybe yes, maybe not clear. But whether we should have our own digital currency, the answer has been very reassuringly clear and consistent, right? It is not changing, and it is yes, right? And 4 years after an interministerial committee recommended that India launch fiat money in digital form, the Reserve Money of India has indicated that pilot projects to figure out its viability are likely to be launched soon, right? Long sentence. But the idea is very simple. It says that two or three things that I said in the same sentence. Number one, it has been 4 years since an interministerial committee recommended that India should launch fiat money in digital form. What is fiat money? Now, even Bitcoin is a kind of money. Yeah. But money which is backed by the government authority of a country, right, is called fiat money, right? So we what we want is that India wants to launch its own digital currency, right, which will be fully legal, which will be fully backed by the central bank and the government. Right, so this it was decided even like 4 years back that we should be having this, and now what has been developed in 4 years that now the Reserve Bank of India is ready with the pilot projects to figure out the viability. Viability means whether it will be profitable, whether we can bear the expenses, right? Whether like what kind of costs it will incur, and to what extent those costs will be justified, right? So these viability checking projects are to be launched very soon. This is the recent development. In a speech few days ago, T. Ravishankar, Deputy Governor RBI, said RBI is currently working towards a phased implementation strategy and examining use cases which could be implemented with little or no disruption. Now, people who are from IT background, or software development background, coding background, they would know that whenever any project is launched, we have different use cases. That if this happens, that what will happen? If this problems comes, then what happens? How will we solve it? All these things are currently being worked upon. So they are working on towards a phase implementation strategy. That they'll not go on one fine day. They say, okay, now we will only have digital currency. We'll go in a phased way. What those phases are, that also are being discussed, and they are examining use cases which will be implemented with little or no disruption. Right. The clarity is welcome. Now, this is what the editorial says. The clarity is welcome, given that the much awaited cryptocurrency and regulation of official digital currency bill 2021 is yet to be introduced, right? So when there is some clarity even before the bill has arrived, it's always good, because in that case, it will be easier to draft the bill. It will be easier to get the normal consensus and support of different parties, right? In recent years, the significant rise of private cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ether has spooked. Spooked means they have scared the central banks throughout the world, right? That what will happen, because their authority is challenged through these cryptocurrencies. So they are definitely scared. They spooked central banks throughout the world and pushed the case for official digital currencies, right? This is very clear, straightforward. Mr. Ravishankar himself cited 2021 BIS, Bank of International Settlements. It conducts some surveys after every 2 or 3 years. So 2021 BIS survey of central banks, which found that 86% were actively researching the potential for such currencies, right? Important data. 60% were experimenting with the technology, and 14% are way ahead. They were deploying pilot projects, right? China is one of them. So it says China, having already engaged in pilot projects for its digital RMB, is in fact planning a major rollout soon. So probably China maybe turns out to be the first country to roll out its own digital currency. There has been little doubt, therefore, that India needs a digital rupee. The important questions are about the details and the timeline. So this paragraph has very clearly set the context. You know that we are talking about digital currency plans of India. We know that what has been the progress over the last few years. We know what is the stand of the government and of RBI. And now the next part we'll discuss, as is indicated in the last sentence. The important questions are about details and the timeline. So there are crucial decisions to be made about design of the currency with regards to how to be issued, the degree of anonymity it will have, the kind of technology that is to be used, and so on. Right. So these are the design problems. Right. This is obviously the first and foremost problem. If the design is ready, then rollout becomes that much more easier. So how it has to be designed, and even in design, one major question is of anonymity, because digital currencies, cryptocurrencies rather, they became popular because of this condition of anonymity, because you will never know who paid this amount, to whom. So there's complete anonymity, and that is something which is a big attraction for cryptocurrencies. Right. So these are crucial decisions to be made about design, the degree of anonymity, kind of technology to be used. Right. It is possible that the question of degree of anonymity, especially, will be quite challenging one. So, as expected, this has turned out to be the real challenge. While official digital currencies can borrow the underlying technology feature of private cryptocurrencies, they significantly differ from the latter in their philosophy and goals. Because their philosophy is very clear. Their philosophy is to provide anonymity so that they can get more traction. Here, we don't want to get traction. We just want to make the economy smoother, right? And maybe more the entire system of currency more cost effective, right? So both are different. They have not been mentioned, but this is just like thinking because whenever we read anything, we should always try to relate it to what we already know. Only then we can connect closely and effectively with the writing, whatever passage we are reading. So while official digital currencies can borrow underlying technology, feature of private cryptocurrencies, they significantly differ from the later in the philosophy and rules. Also, to be considered are possible impacts of the introduction of an official digital currency on people, the monetary policy, and the banking system. Right? So these factors will be affected. People will be affected. Monetary policy will be affected, which includes the interest rates, right? Repo rate, repo rate, all those things, and the banking system, obviously, right? There are risks to be considered as well. What risks? Not the least of which will be those emerging from cyber attacks, right? Because digital, anything which is digital is prone or vulnerable to cyber attacks. What is more, many laws need to be amended to make digital rupee a reality, right? So there's a lot of legislative challenge also, a lot of new rules to be made, existing rules to be changed, right? Or maybe even discarded. So while India might have done exceedingly well in digital payments in recent years, how well? It tells us the deputy governor said they have grown at a compounded annual growth rate of 55% for the last 5 years, which is a huge growth. 55% compounded annual growth rate, right? So it is good. The digital rupee will be something else altogether. We cannot compare. The editorial says that we cannot compare the growth in digital payments to digital currency because it will be a different ballgame. Notwithstanding all these challenges, now it started on a positive note, then it mentioned some challenges, and now it is reconciling. Notwithstanding all these challenges, it would seem that the answer to Mr. Ravi Shankar's speech title, what was the title? Central bank digital currency. Is this the future of money? Is yes. Right. So overall, finally, the editorial ends on a positive note on this entire issue. Right. So we have read it now. One way of whether we understood it or not is to just after we have read it, we can probably keep the editorial away, close our eyes, and think that what have I taken away? Take away means that if tomorrow or day after tomorrow somebody asks, okay, you were reading some editorial the other day. What was it all about? So if you try to remember this entire editorial, will not get anything, right? It will be just some hodgepodge kind of things. But if we had, if we normally get into habit of articulating it and expressing the takeaways in 2 or 3 small points, then it is easier for us to retain those things, and it helps us in future. So the takeaway, number one, India is on course for launching its digital fiat money. Yes. This is in line with the global efforts to combat the challenge presented by the rise in popularity of cryptocurrencies. Right? These are the salient features that I could remember after I completed reading it. So I simply jotted down it. China is about to roll out its digital currency. RMB is the official currency of China. Right? Yuan is one of its unit. Right? 1, 2, 3 were mentioned in the first paragraph. Second paragraph was about issues to be considered. What issues? Anonymity clause, which cannot be same as that of cryptocurrency. Right? Definitely there will be anonymity, but we cannot replicate the exact anonymity model which has been followed by Bitcoin, Ether, etc. Impact on people, monetary policy, and banking system. These things have to be considered. That how digital money will impact people, especially poor people, right? How, what kind of access they will have, how they will have it, right? What basic infrastructure availability has to be there, all those things. Then monetary policy, how interest rates will change, right? Because whatever monetary policy is there, it has direct bearing on the overall economic growth of the country. And definitely banking system, which is obviously the nervous system for the entire economy of any country. And it also talks about the issue of security against possible cyber attacks, right? And overall opinion is what? It welcomes the intent and the efforts to launch a digital currency as need of the hour. Right. So the editorial might be lengthy because it is somewhere around 350, 400 words. But all in all, it talks about these 4 or 5 major takeaways. Right. So probably we can get you to habit of jotting these takeaways down after we have read the editorial and probably keep note of it. So on one hand, we are working on our comprehension skills. On the other hand, we are also working on our general awareness, and these notes will always help us in during interviews or the general awareness section of different competitive exams. So that's it for this video, and let me remind you, in the coming videos, I'll be discussing and explaining more editorials. I'll be discussing questions from GMAT, GRE, CAT, right, on sentence correction, reading comprehension, critical reasoning, right? And if you are interested in keeping track of all this important inputs, please subscribe to this channel. And till the time we meet next, thank you. Goodbye.